All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Ms. Perry, will you call the roll for us?
Mayor Holly Berry.
Here.
Mayor Stephanie Dalton.
Here.
Commissioner James Harvey.
Here.
Commissioner Phillips absent. Commissioner Hayes Wilkinson.
I'm here.
For today's invocation, please join me in a moment of silence to reverently collect our thoughts, pray, and ready ourselves for this meeting and the duties to which we have been called. Thank you all. We have special guests with us today, Troop 40178, and I would like to welcome Maggie to lead us in the pledge today.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you so much.
All right. Our first item of business today is the consideration of the minutes for approval or correction for the April 2nd work session meeting. Any corrections? If not, do I have a motion to approve as written?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Dalton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the minutes for the April 2nd commission meeting. Any corrections? If not, do I have a motion to approve as written?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Dalton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. For my mayor's report today, I wanted to remind everybody about our second Food Truck Friday. This Friday, April 19th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Red Bank City Park across from Food City. We'll have live music by Trace Wynn. Food trucks will include Joyful Hearts Cafe, Windy City Eats, Culturelicious, Chatter-Tater, Freddie Hanner Food Truck, and Broken Heart Cheesecakes. And the next Red Bank Community Food Pantry is this Thursday, April 18th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. You can sign up to volunteer at their sign-up genius at redbankfoodpantry.org. Next, we have our report from Vice Mayor Dalton.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, everyone. The City of Red Bank Small Area Study Survey related specifically to the former Red Bank Middle School site is live as of today. You can find it on the city's website, social media, or you can pick up a paper copy at City Hall. I'd like to welcome Mostly French, a small vintage business that just relocated from Chattanooga to Red Bank and was open for the first time today. They are at 2244 Dayton Boulevard, just next to the Mustard Seed. I hope you'll join us at our next Red Bank Chamber Council meeting at the Red Bank Community Center next Wednesday, April 24th from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Michael Pham, our community planner, will be speaking about our community comprehensive planning efforts and engaging small businesses in our area for feedback. And we'll also be hearing from Be the Change Youth Initiative and their work in our Red Bank schools. As a reminder, our Red Bank Earth Day cleanup is this Saturday, April 20th from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in partnership with Green Steps and Be Caffeinated. There's potentially some weather, so just kind of maybe keep an eye out. I don't know if it'll have to be postponed or not. You can go to greenstepschat.com/events to sign up. And speaking of events, I'm very excited for our Jubilee on May the 4th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll have vendors, live music, a bicycle rodeo, beer garden. May the 4th be with you costume contest, a kids zone with a petting zoo, face painting, and more. Don't forget, there's still time to register for the Moon Pie Move 5K and 10K happening at 8 a.m. just before the Jubilee, with a portion of the proceeds going to benefit Girls on the Run. I have to take a moment to brag on Alpine Crest. I want to give them a big shout out. They were recognized this year as a level 5 school, one of only 27 schools in Hamilton County, to be recognized, and as a reward school, one of only 19 Hamilton County schools to receive that recognition. They also received an A letter grade from the state, helped Hamilton County schools achieve the highest score possible in state growth levels, are on their way to having their school site designated as a Class 1 Arboretum, are expanding their Forest K program to Forest First Grade this fall. Their Beta Club has volunteered over 999 hours in the community and so much more. And while they are sad about the recent announcement that Mrs. Shelley Jackson is heading back to Big Ridge Elementary, we are excited to welcome the incredible Miss Kim Roden from Soddy Elementary as the new principal this fall. And if this isn't enough to indicate to you how much of a treasure the school is, not just in Red Bank, but across the county, there are 92 students on the waiting list to attend. There are only 305 students there, and there's almost a third of the population that wants to be there, and there's just not room for them to be at that school. That's how much people love our school and want their children to be there. So let's just keep showing them love, supporting them however we can. From Rivermont, save the date for their STEAM Fest on May 3rd from 4:30 to 7 p.m. They'll host their yearly fundraising event, and it's open to the public. There's STEAM-related activities, carnival-type games, food, and a silent auction. Tickets for the games can be purchased at the school. And in recognition of Coach Mandy Munn's longtime service as a coach and educator at Red Bank High School, the public is invited to attend the naming ceremony of the Mandy Green Munn Field tomorrow evening, April 17th at 5 p.m., weather permitting. Keep an eye on their social media for a weather update tomorrow morning. And finally, I just want to thank everyone who came to our budget workshop last week and got to hear presentations from police, fire, and courts, and hope to see you all next Tuesday, the 23rd, to hear from Public Works and Tracy Perry, Director of Administration. So that'll be it from 5 to around 7:30 p.m. next Tuesday. That's it for me. Thank you.
Next, we have our report from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey.
Thank you. I thought Jeffrey Gray did a good job with the first Food Friday a couple of weeks ago. And then as well, the Jubilee coming that the committee is working on. We have a meeting tomorrow and one more before the event on Saturday, May 4th. And as Vice Mayor said, it's from 10 a.m. to 4. The National Day of Prayer will be next Thursday, May 2nd. And any hedge of protection that we can have for our city residents, employees, and commissioners is much appreciated with prayer. Next Listen and Learn is May 20th at Sabor. Had one last night, very informative. Ms. Johnson came and spoke about the survey. Then that's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Commissioner Phillips is absent today, and we have our report next from Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming out. I don't have a report. You guys did a great job. But I do want to say the audio quality for the YouTube live stream is really excellent. I watched from Texas last week when the budget work session was happening. So I was able to hear every word, and it's a big improvement from 2 years ago. So.
Ditto. Similarly, good quality sound from Vermont. All right.
I was there for work, unfortunately.
All right. Next, we have our report from our city manager, Mr. Martin Granum.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Most of everything I had to note has been covered. Thank you. I'll simply add that the recruitment for our next CFO is ongoing. We have had a healthy response with 17 thus far, and it's set to close on the 21st of May. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll briefly add to Vice Mayor's report that many of the wonderful activities that she listed for the Jubilee are going to be free, which is pretty exciting. Next is a temporary adjournment of our regular meeting for a beer board hearing. So I'll go ahead and call our beer board to order. Ms. Perry, will you please call the roll for us?
Mayor Polly Berry,
Here.
Vice Mayor Stephanie Dalton,
Here.
Commissioner Jamie Fairbanks Harvey.
Here.
Commissioner Phillips is absent, and Commissioner Hayes Wilkinson.
I'm here.
All right, we have one item of new business for our beer board today. The application for a special event beer permit for David DeStefano, DBA Chattanooga Breakfast Rotary Club, requests to serve beer at the Red Bank Jubilee on May 4th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Mr. DeStefano, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be back, Miss.
Would you like to give us any little preview of what we can expect?
Beer.
Yes.
We've done the Jubilee for the last couple of years, also the Christmas parade. We'll do pretty much the same thing again, offer not only some craft beers from some local brewers, but national beers will be available for those that want it. We do the follow up with, signs around the perimeter to make sure that everybody understands that the beer area is defined. We have a security guard that checks IDs before, and then we tag them with wristbands so that we know that they're legitimate before they actually purchase any beer or other alcohol.
Excellent. We appreciate having such a reputable vendor to count on at our many city events.
So I represent the Rotary Club, Breakfast Club Chattanooga that does meet over at the Red Bank Recreation Center, I believe that's Community Center, excuse me. And so, we've been doing that for several years and really enjoy our relationship with Red Bank. And just as an aside, we'll also be serving food Friday night at the Rivermont School event as well. So we'll be there Friday night doing that, and Saturday over at the Red Banks serving.
It's a busy weekend.
Yes, we'll be doing that.
All right. Anything to add? If you read and understand our beer ordinances.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Any questions for the applicant? Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wilkinson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Channeling Pete for us. A second from Vice Mayor Dalton. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, then we'll call a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Looking forward to it. Thank you for joining us. Now we may adjourn our beer board meeting and reconvene our regular meeting. Moving on to unfinished business. We only have one item of unfinished business today, Ordinance 24-1257, an ordinance of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee to amend the fiscal year 2024 operating budget beginning July 1st, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024, in order to appropriate unbudgeted expenditures and grant funding in the amount of $60,628. Second and final reading. Ms. Perry, do you care to give us a brief overview for anybody that wasn't here at our last meeting?
Last year, we applied for the Violent Crimes Intervention Fund grant, which will pay for an additional detective investigator. We received it, and this year we'll be using $60,628 to cover the salary of that officer.
Okay, thank you very much. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Vice Mayor Dalton. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, will you call the vote for us, Ms. Perry?
Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey.
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips is absent. Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
Motion carries on second reading. Moving on to new business, we have Resolution 24-1678. A resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, creating a vision for the field, expressing a commitment to work towards realizing that vision, and establishing a relationship with Trust for Public Land as a keystone partner in cultivating a robust and enduring community of stakeholders to assist the City of Red Bank in realizing this vision. At our work session, we had an extensive discussion with Parks Manager Gravy, as well as several representatives of the Trust for Public Land. We are taking this opportunity to formalize the city's commitment to recognizing this space in the field. And as we discussed, and as well expressed in this caption, this resolution brings us to the next step of creating a stakeholder group to steer and guide the next steps in this process. We look forward to. Did I cover that well, Mr. City Manager?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Dalton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Close one. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there is no more discussion, then we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Peterson,
Ms.
for
Peterson.
joining us and to Trust Republic Land for this relationship. Next, we have Resolution 24-1679, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, recognizing April 24th, 2024 as Administrative Professionals Day. Ms. Perry, we went over this briefly in the work session. Just a recap will do.
City is continually trying to find ways to recognize our employees, so we appreciate them. So this will be for administrative professionals. Those are all the folks that don't really have a particular department. And we'll do something, I haven't figured out yet what we'll do to recognize them on their day.
So we got fire, police, and public works previously recognized. So now we can finally get the last few employees we've missed up until this point. All right. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
We have a motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion? We're excited to have an opportunity to recognize our administrative professionals that keep the city running smoothly behind the scenes, often overlooked, that hardworking group. Thank you. Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next resolution, 24-1680, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, recognizing May 5th through 11th as the 55th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. City Recorder Perry.
Again, this is another way of not singling out, but not really singling out specific employees. And this will be our court clerks. We have not recognized them in the past. And this will be their week, and we will do something for them, just undecided yet.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Dalton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion?
Is that Alicia?
Yes.
Alicia and Alex.
And Ally.
Ally, thank you. Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
And what better time to recognize our court clerks when they are doing a truly phenomenal job for us. We really appreciate them. Any comments from the residents present? If there's no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have resolution, 24-1681. A resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, authorizing a contract with Bravo Fence Company to install a fence at the Red Bank Cemetery located off Oakland Terrace, parcel 1091B-019. And I regret Miss Johnson is not here to tell me the correct way to read that parcel number. My apologies, Miss Johnson, if you're watching from home. For an amount of $24,000 for the Red Bank Public Works Department, Public Works Director Tate. Perhaps you know the right answer for how I'm supposed to read that.
The right answer is there is no address, so we put a bunch of numbers. As I explained in the work session, this is to install fencing around the Red Bank Cemetery located adjacent to 4007 Oakland Terrace. And anyone that wants to see, after the meeting, I can refresh them with images of what that looks like. But this is just one step in supporting our Cemetery Advisory Board and the great work that they've done there, as well as preserving this piece of property for all Red Bank residents. And once upon your approval of this, we should be able to get started right away.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tate. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move that one.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Wilkinson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Vice Mayor Dalton. Any further discussion? we discussed this in the work session, but I'll remind everybody once more, there is a public work day on April 27th. What's the time on that?
I think it's from 10 to 1.
10 to 1?
12, 10 to 1.
Okay.
We do lunch too.
Yes, lunch provided, family friendly. So definitely encourage anybody to attend who'd like to see the future site of this fence in person. And
After everybody shows up at 10.
yeah, yeah, you earn your lunch. You earn your lunch. All right. Any comments from the residents present? All right. If there are no more comments, then we'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is Resolution 24-1682, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, authorizing the expenditure of a one-time expense of $12,865 for repairs to Solid Waste Unit 786, the rear loader garbage truck for the Red Bank Public Works Solid Waste Division. Public Works Director Tate, we were not able to reach this item in the work session, so please give us all the info.
Yes, ma'am. As someone explained to me today, this is a good news story.
Yes.
We are well blessed with equipment, and we have taken very good care of our equipment. This particular vehicle, as you can see in the slides, will follow along. That is a 2010 International garbage truck with a Heil Packer body on it. Has around 45,000 actual miles. It was new when the city bought it in 2013. Even though it was 2010, and it has about 7,700 hours. It was bought at the same time that Unit 787 was purchased, and the city was getting back into the municipal waste collection. Now, garbage trucks are one of those items that you have to have if you're going to have a city. You have to have a garbage truck. You roll on to the next slide, Tracy. I don't know why I say this it was a PowerPoint. Apparently it's decided to convert it to a PDF. So that board is jinxed. 787 is no longer in service because we literally drove the wheels off of it since 2013. 786 has been primarily used for a backup truck and for makeup service after holidays. It has low miles and hours, and it continues to be a dependable vehicle. But the repairs that it's in need of are typical fair wear and tear. Next slide, Tracy. Sorry, I sound positive. The repairs that need to be made are just some of the cylinder blade, ejector cylinder guides, slides, ejector shoes. These are all parts that make the packer work. And in my next picture, next slide, there's a picture of the actual unit. This is a PT-1000. I've kind of cut it out and did a close-up, and you can see where I've circled some of the moving parts. This part right here, and I'll give you all a packet. This part right here is a continuous slide. You can see where I put the word compactor on there. That is a compactor blade. Once the guys fill up that part of the truck, that compactor blade comes out and it grabs it and it pulls it up into the truck. And you can see all the moving parts. There's cylinders there on both sides. There's guides, there's rollers. Next slide. And this is what it looks like in action. And you can see the compactor blade is up at the top. And through the process, it comes down near the back of the truck and it mashes all that and pulls it up inside. So you've got perpetual motion on all of those parts as it works every day. Next slide. This is the tailgate. This is what contains the compactor blade. And you can see that is a very large piece of equipment that we do not have the capability of removing at the shop. It also has, I've highlighted the compactor blade, the ejector cylinder blade, and the next slide actually shows the ejector blade and the cylinder that works it. Now all of this, and I've got some areas highlighted, it has guides and rails that all this slides on. Well, after so many years and so many cycles, those tend to wear out. And when it wears out, the whole thing can get in there and get in a jam, and you can really do some damage if you don't keep these parts maintained. Next slide. This is the outside. Now this is actually our truck, and you can see how dirty it is from years of use. And and our guys clean it. I just caught them at a bad time and asked them to give me some pictures. But you can see this is the compactor blade when it's all the way down. And you can still see the cylinders and all the moving parts that are involved in making this piece of equipment operate. Next slide. And then I had to ask what this was. When the supervisor sent me a picture with this right here, I said, what is the hole inside of the truck? And that's an access panel. And he informs me today that they took the access panel off, and there's actually rollers and guides in there that go up the outsides of the body. And when they took that access panel off and looked inside it, those rollers and guides are worn out too, just from everyday use or from the use that it gets. And I think that's the end of my slides. But anyway, we have a good partner in Stringfellow, which is a Heil dealership. Any Heil equipment that we bought normally comes from Stringfellow. They're a regional dealership, and they also service and repair Heil products. And so they quote us the price of $12,865 to make the necessary repairs. Now, this, as I think I explained to the vice mayor, this wasn't something that we planned on, but it's something that we budget for in our annual budget for vehicle repair and maintenance. So we had, I think it was $86,000 budgeted in there for this coming year for repair and maintenance on our garbage trucks. And right now after this, we'll be about the halfway point through the budget. We'll be about $42,000 after this repair is made. So we have money in the fund to cover it.
It's remarkable that this machine is still in such good condition
It's-
after
Yes,
from 2010,
from 2010.
from the original Red Bank getting back into the solid waste business.
Yes, ma'am.
What did we purchase it for back then?
Well, the city had been contracting garbage service with BFI. I don't even think BFI is in business anymore, but they used to be like Capital Waste and some of the other, that you see around town.
Yeah.
BFI had a contract to provide municipal waste collection, and everybody had a BFI garbage can. And at some point, I don't recall exactly, I think that was probably back in 2007 or 8 that the city went into that contract. And then they realized that it was costing more and more money.
Mhm.
And it was actually, more feasible to hire a crew and buy our own equipment and do our own garbage service than to keep contracting it out. And the prices kept going up year after year. And
And the level of service is superior.
exactly, number one.
Yeah, that's awesome. I should have asked my question a little bit better. What was the dollar amount? we
What was the
purchased?
dollar amount?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But no, I appreciate the context too. That's
I'm-
super interesting.
From some historical records, I think it was about 175,000. We bought two of those trucks, 77, 76, 786, 787, and then we had another one, 784, which is the automated truck. We still have one of those in service, but there was one that predated it that we bought all three at the same time. That was back before my time.
So it sounds like we've gotten our money's worth out of it.
Oh, yes, sir. 787, we still have it, and it's sitting down at the impound yard. It'll be going to surplus, but with $100,000, it could still be put back into service.
Which is certainly a lot cheaper than you could buy a new garbage truck.
This
these
is
days.
true.
I do have one question,
Okay.
Mayor. You said Stringfellow is the vendor there. You said out of Ohio. Did I hear that correctly? Or did I mishear
No,
something?
they're a local company.
Okay, they're local.
They're
So,
local. Their headquarters is in Nashville, and they have a shop here in Chattanooga.
okay, so they will be able to either take it to them and they'll service it there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes. I probably juggled Heil.
Oh, Heil. That's what it
Heil
was.
is the brand back.
HEIL, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for Director Tate?
No, I'm glad we have Halls. That's what put food on our table. I'll have to say personally, my husband sold those. Wow.
Oh, interesting.
They're good equipment.
Mhm.
Obviously.
All right. In that case, do I hear a motion to approve?
Almost.
We have apologies. We have a motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there's no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next resolution is 24-1683, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, authorizing the purchase of stormwater inlet grates from Atchison Foundry Chattanooga, Tennessee, in the amount of $13,680 for the Public Works Department. And this is another one we did not get to in the work session, so please inform us, Director Tate.
Thank you, Mayor. Storm grates. What can you say about storm grates? They're everywhere. The ones that we have are decades old, and you know, at the time, you know, it was what was being put in place, but here in more recent times, you know, they become a hindrance to not only bicyclists, but you know, just everyday instances. You know, they're collecting debris and other things. But you can see in my picture here, this was an actual bicycle incident that took place in Red Bank. Not, I'm not going to say where, but it was within walking distance of where we're at right now. And so that led to a conversation about what we can do to replace those. And if you can see, they're all, most of the grates on Dayton Boulevard are, the openings run parallel to the boulevard. There are some that run perpendicular, but very few. Most of them are this style here. And today's bicycles have narrower tires and, you know, more susceptible to this. And, you know, there's some other issues with storm grates around the city. So I asked Ricky Reeves to help me come up with a solution. And he contacted Atchison Foundry, is the company we normally buy grates from if we had to replace one. But they don't even make this kind anymore. And anything that we bought from them would have to be fabricated out of state. So he called a couple other companies, and then Atchison come back with a solution. If you go to the next slide, please. Go one more slide. This is the solution. I've got to get my slides out of. This is the solution that he came back with, and it is called a bike safe grate. And it's rated, the design load is H2O or H20. And so I had to do some research and figure out what that meant. And what that means is that it is designed to sustain a double-tired tire axle with a 32,000-pound capacity limit. So that's more than adequate for, you know, replacing these grates. The problem is they cost $760 a piece. And then on top of that, you have to pay for shipping, and shipping's based on the weight, and they're still heavy. But we have a solution. If you'll go back on slide, Tracy. Slide number 2. Well, anyway, so what we're going to do is I'm proposing that we buy 13 of the grates right now, and we put them in the riskiest locations. And we'll have to do some site work to, you know, determine where those are. Of course, I've got some good feedback, you know, in-house feedback from some good locations. But then what we're looking at is we're looking at a possible option of replacing them one for one. And then as we take the old ones out, there may be some fabrication that we can have done on those to close the gaps and put spacers in between them. It was just an idea that we're going to look into so that we don't have to spend $60,000 on grates. And then we've got all these old ones just to dispose of because they're not usable. So we're going to look into that. But for starters, I'm proposing that we replace a few at a time till we can come up with another solution. Then next budget year, we'll probably come up with a bigger number to replace more and more, if that's possible.
Makes sense. Excuse me. Go ahead, Red. Have you talked to any other cities who have used the new kind of grates?
No, we've not talked to the cities. You know, Chattanooga is just about the same shape we are. I mean,
Sure.
they've probably got a few in newer streets and developments downtown that they've replaced with more modern. But, you know, everybody around here is basically suffering from the same issues. Yeah, the biggest ordeal is finding a local company that you can buy this type of material from. I mean, Atchison's a local company, but we're having to buy it from a third party through them. And so we'll, you know, going forward, I'll probably find out who this company is and see if we can reach out directly to them, maybe save some money.
I was going to ask about that because, you know, one of the things I asked you about was if they were a similar cost, and you said they were if we replaced them with the same grate, same type of design
Right.
versus the bike safe grate. So it's the price is similar. But I see up there, you say the existing grates are not available locally, must be fabricated. So it's the same situation where we would have to have them shipped in, even if they weren't the bike safe versions?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Atchison, most of the foundries around here have gone out of business.
Okay.
Or go, like Atchison used to do a lot of fabricating, and now they just do small stuff. They don't get into bulk and I think probably Chattanooga, Red Bank, Hamilton County used to buy a lot of material from them in
But
decades past, but
but
just
nothing's
small.
been replaced in decades. Probably across the counties.
You're right.
They went out of business. Okay.
All right. Any questions for Dr. Tate?
It's ticky-tack, but the weight that it holds, will it hold a motorcycle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
they're
some of
designed.
those are really heavy.
They're designed to hold 32,000 pounds, double tire, truck axle, 32,000 pounds.
That's awesome.
All right.
Okay.
In that case, do I hear a motion to approve?
I will move.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wilkinson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second from Stormwater Champion, Vice Mayor Dalton. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution 24-1684, resolution by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee to proclaim May 6th through 10th, 2024 as Teacher Appreciation Week. And I'll turn this one over to you, Vice Mayor Dalton.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe we've done this the past couple of years. We have put together, I found some language and then I modified it to suit our local Red Bank schools and teachers and educators. And so I've updated that for this year. And this year, Teacher Appreciation Week is May 6th through the 10th.
All right, would you like to read the resolution?
Sure, I can. Okay, resolution number 24-1684, a resolution by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee to proclaim May 6th through 10, 2024 as Teacher Appreciation Week. Whereas through their dedicated efforts to ensure our children learn the knowledge and skills needed to pursue and achieve their dreams, Red Bank, Tennessee teachers are vital in building the future. And whereas because of the increasing diversity of students, teachers must be constantly learning so they may adapt to meet the ever-changing needs of children in our schools. And whereas teachers play a crucial role in shaping and inspiring our children, supporting them through their youth, and teaching lessons they will carry through life. And whereas the teaching profession thrives when educators are empowered to lead within and beyond the classroom, allowing them to best prepare our youth to become contributing members of our community, thereby strengthening our democracy. And whereas there are hundreds of dedicated educators working in Red Bank, Tennessee public schools, putting in countless hours and extra effort to help students learn and grow, preparing them to succeed in life, their careers, and their civic duties. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Commission of Red Bank, Tennessee hereby proclaims the week of May 6th through 10, 2024 as Teacher Appreciation Week, a time to recognize those who are becoming tomorrow's teachers and to thank the many teachers whose commitment makes a difference in the lives of the children in Red Bank, Tennessee's public schools.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
Do we have any teachers present here today or retired teachers? Definitely recognize our
Recognizing
Commissioner Fairbanks
you,
Harvey.
Thank you,
And any
Professor
teachers,
Harvey.
and any teachers watching at home. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I will motion.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Dalton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, then we'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Looking forward to Teacher Appreciation Week in Red Bank. Next, we have Resolution 24-1685, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, amending Resolution 24-1675, appointing up to 10 members to the City of Red Bank Cemetery Citizens Advisory Board. Susan Bell. City Manager Graham.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Ms. Bell is a Red Bank resident and it's going to be a fabulous fit with our committee. She has a degree in community service and criminal justice and a vast background of community service, including scouting and serving the youth community in particular, and has been a small business owner, and she's just going to be a great fit on this committee.
And filling out the committee at the 10th member.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent news. Thanks. All right. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wilkinson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Vice Mayor Dalton. Any further discussion? Just a thank you to Ms. Bell for being willing to serve. You'll be in good company on our Cemetery Citizens Advisory Board. They're doing phenomenal work.
Yep.
Any comments from the residents present? All right, if there are no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Last resolution of the day, number 24-1686, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, appointing Leslie Johnson as the City of Red Bank representative to the Hamilton County Water and Wastewater Treatment Authority. Mr. Tate, are you Tate or Mr. Branham? Which one of you are covering that? Team effort.
Yes. Unfortunately, both the principals are not with us tonight. That is, Commissioner Pete Phillips is our current. So the way this works, just for those who don't know, the commission does know, the commission appoints, we have a seat at the governing table for the WWTA, the county sewerage agency. And so this is the City of Red Bank as a participating jurisdiction appointing our member to that governing body. It is currently Commissioner Pete Phillips. And with his intention to not seek re-election, we took this opportunity to appoint somebody else. And by consensus, we all agreed that there's none better qualified than epic superstar Leslie Johnson, our Deputy Public Works Director. And so that is the commission, that is the proposal before you this evening, is to formalize that. What everybody thinks is a great idea, to ask Leslie to represent the City of Red Bank and be the commission's voice on the WWTA's governing body.
And I agree wholeheartedly. Leslie came and talked to me a few days ago and, mentioned this to me. And I told her, I said, I remember when I first came to work for the City of Red Bank, a former commissioner was on the board at the time. And I would always get emails from him. And I never really understood what was going on, because it talked about wastewater and this guy said, and this guy said. And then when Commissioner Phillips became that voice, I realized then, because there wasn't a lot to do made about wastewater back in the first years I came here. And then when Leslie and I were talking about this, I thought, this is an opportunity to have a voice and a presence on that board that brings it straight back into City Hall. And it doesn't wait till the next commission meeting or the next month or something. If there's some attention that needs to be, placed on something that's going on with WWTA. And I think it's a great move.
Cut out one line in the game of telephone.
Right.
Well, I can't think of anybody more qualified than Deputy Director Johnson. Between
She has
her,
a knack.
yes, intimate knowledge of the City of Red Bank's, wastewater and stormwater needs, and her knowledge of Hamilton County government generally. So
We were really fortunate to have Property Assessor Marty Haynes here talking about the relationship we have with the property assessor. One of the things about cities in Hamilton County, cities across America, is they have really business relationships with other jurisdictions. And this is an example of that, where we have really an existential relationship with the WWTA that provides the sewerage, not only for Red Bank, but a vast majority of Hamilton County outside of the city of Chattanooga. And we're sending a really talented person to that governing body to really wrestle with vexing issues that are in the billions of dollars. If you look at the scope and scale and the future expansion and the challenges currently facing with moratoriums and overflows, and there's a buzzword from the EPA, a
Consent decree.
consent decree. Thank you. The stakes are high for not only currently meeting the criteria for clean water, but expanding the system to meeting the growth of Hamilton County. These are big challenges, and I feel really good that Red Bank is going to be represented by somebody with the level of sophistication of Leslie and the other members on that governing body. They have a tough job.
I would agree. And I would just say too, that to me, it makes sense. I think there's probably a greater level of continuity with it being a staff member versus one of us who may or may not seek reelection or may not win reelection. So I think it will be, much more streamlined having a staff member, like Mr. Tate said, who can come right back to y'all and get you updated.
And has the voice of the commission too, has the ear of the commission. When levels that she detects need vetting by you, she'll bring it to you very quickly.
Absolutely.
Her plate is full.
Her plate is full.
She's got a lot of responsibilities.
That's why I use the words epic superstar when I talk about her. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Oh,
We have
Go
a
ahead.
motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey and a second from Vice Mayor Dalton.
yes.
Any further discussion? Thank you to Deputy Director Johnson for being willing to take on this additional responsibility. We're lucky to have her. Any comments from the residents present? If there's no more comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last voting item today, ordinance number 24-1258, an ordinance of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee to amend fiscal year 2024 operating budget to appropriate donation funding from the Red Bank and Saudi Daisy Charitable Foundation, Inc. in the amount of $45,000 and to accept conditions of the grant. First reading, City Recorder Perry.
This ordinance is to appropriate funding from the Red Bank Saudi Daisy Charitable Fund that we received $5,000. It will be used primarily in multiple parks for watering stations of all sorts.
Excellent. Any questions? Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Dalton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, Ms. Perry, will you call the vote for us?
Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips is absent, Commissioner Wilkerson.
Yes.
All right, motion carries on first reading. Now is the time for citizen comments for Red Bank citizens for items not on tonight's agenda. Mr. Granum?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time for citizen comments. Please observe these rules. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or less, and the city recorder will operate the timer visible on the dais. Please respect her direction and conclude any comments if time expires. Comments should be addressed to the board as a whole, and not to a particular commissioner, city staff, or the audience. The commission is here to listen, not necessarily to respond or engage in back and forth, so please do not expect a reply during public comments. At this time, citizens are invited to the podium. Please begin by stating your name and address.
Michael McCain, 4200 Cullen Avenue. I appreciate the survey that has been submitted for the citizens of Red Bank to review and take part of. However, I do have concerns with that particular survey in that it could potentially come back to haunt the city. The way the survey is presently set up, a citizen of the country of Germany could partake of that survey and we wouldn't even know that. Also, the way that survey is set up, in the way that I said could haunt, is that the party, just for the sake of this conversation, we have A and B. If the survey goes in favor of A, then B is going to be upset. Or if it went in the favor of B, then A is going to be upset because we don't know who participated in that survey. So in that regard, I see this survey as being invalid. Furthermore, the survey has open-ended questions which could be interpreted in many different ways. So I would strongly recommend that the survey be reevaluated and then resubmitted. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. McCain. Any other comments for items not on tonight's agenda? All right, if there are no more comments, then do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
We have a motion to adjourn from Commissioner Wilkinson, standing in for Commissioner Phillips. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Vice Mayor Dalton. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming tonight.
I like how you do things that he does, or like,
Yeah, we sit in action.
It's a pretty good impression.
yes, Pete-isms.
One
That's
bit.